Hey everyone, this is Anthony from the Console Gaming Crew, and we could not be happier to announce that we are now part of the Boss Rush Podcast Network and are featured on BossRushGames.com. BossRushGames.com is a place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there is a growing collection of podcasts in not just the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be part of such a great network of podcasters, so please stop by and give everyone a listen. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Yo, crew members, what it be?
Heyo. Hi.
I was waiting for the from you, but okay.
Nah.
Now we'll
so,
take your high instead.
Yeah, not going to mince words. No Anthony today. He couldn't make it. Something happened. I don't know what happened.
We'll hear about it next week.
He couldn't get the sock off, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it's just me and Wes rocking this thing today, and we got a pretty fun episode that we're still gonna do the episode that we had planned. We'll let Anthony chime in with what he came up with next week, maybe in the beginning, kind of like you guys let me do this past week when I came back in.
Yeah.
So what we are doing today, because we are now, this isn't just an RPG thing, missions, quest levels, but we are coming and bringing to you our most hated and most loved quests or missions from any of the games that we played.
Yeah.
And
well, let me go ahead and preface this by this was actually harder than I thought it would be.
Now, was it harder for you because there was so much to go off of, or you just couldn't think?
It was hard for me because the way that I take in video games and absorb them and really just sit there and just chill with them, it's never like a mission by mission type thing. You know what I mean? I take it all in as one. You know what I'm saying? At the end of it, I go, well, fuck. That was, oh man, that hit me. And it's like, because I feel like some of this might kind of flow, at least for me, a little bit from the Daddies and Baddies episode that we did about a month ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, some of this has to do with some of that because side missions also include like mini bosses and stuff like that most of the time. But do you mind if I go first?
Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mind. Go ahead.
So I will start off with one that I considered one of the hardest. And once again, it goes to one of the first games that I ever streamed, which was Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, okay.
So one of the hardest missions quest, whatever you want to call it. One of the hardest ones in that game for me was Trilla.
Fair enough.
Now, the reason why I sit here and say that was probably... Look, dude, it made perfect sense because she was the last one you fight in the game.
Hundy P.
Yep. So, the big thing with her, and I think I explained this during the Daddies and Baddies, was that she is a master at counters. At counter moves. So like anytime you would try to come in on her, like she always was able to block, move, dodge, whatever. So you always had to parry off of what she did. And you had to go ahead and have a mix between saber and force parries to be able to go ahead and actually get inside and get moves on her. And yeah, dude, that one was easily one of the hardest. I mean, look, it was also one of the most satisfying once I beat her. But dude, that shit took me. That one, I honestly think that took me like an hour and a half.
A lot of these,
dude, I ran it all on stream.
I mean, a lot of these quests, whether you love them or hate them, there's always going to be this gratification you get when you're done, and you've conquered it. So, you good there? Am I good to go?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So for me, they didn't necessarily go. It wasn't based solely on how hard they were. It's just like how much I hated doing it, how monotonous they were. Now, I could have I didn't do this because it would have been so easy. My least favorite quest type or mission type in any game is any protection mission. Anything where I have to fucking worry about somebody else and not just me and someone that can't like defend themselves. So I left all those out because that's too easy. because I hate those.
Oh my god!
So
Yeah,
I
dude,
left
you got
those
me
out.
thinking about that shit right now.
Yeah. So the first one that I went with comes actually from a very beloved game for you. Well, actually, for the both of us, I loved it too, and that is Borderlands 2 Statuesque. I hated this mission.
Statuesque.
Statuesque. After you pick up, I have it. A little breakdown
Okay,
from
no, please do.
Borderlands Wiki. Yeah. So, sorry. After picking up the mission from the Opportunity Bounty Board, Claptrap says, "Go forth into the city and destroy all likenesses of Handsome Jack."
Oh,
A
this
mission-
was the one on his city planet.
That big
that
ass
Hyperion
fucking
one.
That
Yeah.
Hyperion city. Yes.
So we had to go up against all those different like builders. And...
It was it was Opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Opportunities.
There you
Opportunities
go.
where it's at. Yeah. So
that's
a mission.
pick.
A mission marker will then point to the closest statue. Shooting it a couple of times will reveal that it's actually bulletproof. So Claptrap then updates the plan with the objective to locate an inactive constructor. The constructor, nicknamed the Overseer, can be found in an open garage. And basically, what you have to do in this is you find the Overseer, you hack it, and then you have 4 statues you have to destroy. And then there's an optional objective, which makes me even more pissed off because you know how I am. I have to do it.
Yep.
Which is keeping the Overseer above 50% health, which, based on what difficulty you're playing on, makes this a lot more annoying than it already is. And it's already annoying. And it's annoying for multiple reasons. One, it takes forever because you have to wait for this slow-ass constructor to move from one statue to the next, and every time you get to a statue, there's a big-ass battle that erupts. All these baddies come out. You have to kill them, stop them from taking his health down, and you have to go... And it's just so long and annoying and monotonous. It's the same shit. And every time I get to that mission, I fucking hate it. So,
dude, that is a great pull. That is a great pull when it comes down to missions.
Hate it so much. So much. So that's number 3. Obviously, starting with number 3, working my way to one of my least favorite. Now, you probably could too. If we sat down and had months to think about this and really dive back into the Rolodex, we could probably come up with even more. But
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it was difficult for me to like dive. I mean, look, for one of the games that I liked or one of the missions that I liked, love, whatever, that one I went pretty far back in the Rolodex, but like all of my hated / hard are, they're all fairly current things.
Yeah. I actually think I might know what one of yours is, or at least a game that it might be from. But excuse me. Yeah, you're up.
All right, cool. So my next one, this is the one that I can tell you that I hated. I absolutely hated, and I hated it so much I tried it. I did not complete it, and I went ahead and said I am never doing this shit again.
Can you give me the game? Maybe I can guess.
Destiny.
Oh no, I'd never be able to guess. Go ahead.
The first Destiny game. And this mission is actually, it's a raid. It's not necessarily like any type of side quest, but it's a raid. It still counts. It's still a mission.
Absolutely.
So this is the Vault of Glass. This was like the big raid that they had. This was the first one off of the DLCs, I believe. When they started running these raids, the big thing about the raids was that it was 6. You could run as a team of 6, which for a game that you can normally run as a team of 3 is huge. Absolutely. And then, like, honestly, the worst part about it was the simple fact it was just difficult. Just every single thing about it was just so fucking hard. You had to deal with these robots called the Vex, which are essentially sentient robots that you have like 5 or 6 different types of them that can go ahead and kill you in any multitude of ways. They're just fucking annoying. Sure. But the simple fact of having to go ahead and with these different playtel from the Guardians, with the Spires, like, dude, there were like 7 different things you had to do. Probably more than that, to be honest with you. Having to deal with the Oracles, like, it was the Minotaur. It was such a fucked up, long ass thing. So one time, Clyburn and I and a few of his buds went running on this, right? It was like Thanksgiving Eve or some shit like that. So we decided to play video games instead of go out to the bar. Yeah, no, weird, right? So we literally spent 6 hours playing this, and we did not complete it at all.
Jesus,
dude. Not to mention I was horrible. So that obviously doesn't help with all this,
for sure.
But yeah, dude, that was for me, that is easily the most hated mission I have ever done in a game. The Vault of Glass raid for Destiny.
Okay. Moving right along. Have you played, I don't remember, forgive me if you have or have not, played any of the Uncharted games?
Yes. Played the first one.
Okay, so you won't know. Oh, no, you will. This is from, yeah. Okay, so my next one is from the first Uncharted game. The mission was called Heading Upriver. It's a mission where you are on a jet ski and you have to travel up this river that's full of rapids, and you're going against the you're against the current, and as you're traveling up this river, which would have been hard enough if that's all you had to do. It would have been annoying enough. But they added in these exploding barrels that were coming down as you're going up, and in order to sometimes you can just evade them, but you'd have to stop steering, pull out your gun, shoot them, and then continue. But you stop steering for a second, you go wherever the current takes you.
Exactly.
And then as you're going up, as if that wasn't hard enough, then eventually I think halfway through they start adding enemies with rocket launchers and shit that are coming after you too, and it's just so incredibly annoying. And then just couple that with the fact that I 100%ed the Nathan Drake collection, which meant that not only did I have to play the game and beat it on crushing difficulty, which then unlocked brutal difficulty, which you had to beat it on that as well. And brutal difficulty is unlike any hard difficulty or hardest difficulty I've played in any other game. Legit one shot and you're dead. One shot and you're gone. There were parts in that game where I probably died 75 times inside of 5 minutes. You saw. Remember when I was climbing up the ship in that one game?
Yes.
You were watching me. You were watching me stream that. And how many times I died.
I was actually about to say that. I was going to mention that one because I saw the frustration building on your face.
Yeah. See, now I did. Yeah, I didn't want to add certain missions just based around playing on a brutal difficulty, because if that's the case, I could pick any mission in any of those games. So I tried to pick it based on ones that were annoying to do even on normal. Mm-hmm. And heading upriver was just super annoying. It felt like one of those, because they spent so much time on those jet ski parts. It almost just felt like they finished the game, but for whatever reason didn't have a bridge from one chapter to another, so they just threw that in and said, "Fuck it, let's just have them do this to get to the next part." Yeah. And it was just so incredibly annoying. Clyburn listens; he'll appreciate that, because I know he didn't like the first game any more than I did. He liked the story.
Beat the second.
Yeah, him and I were talking about that.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get his, because Uncharted is one of my favorite series ever. They're fantastic, and the story was great in the first one. But we were talking about how clunky and shitty the controls were. You just tap the wrong direction, you could run right off a cliff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Uncharted, Heading Upriver. Yeah, that's number 2 for me.
So my third, which would be one of the harder missions that I've done. I broke this one down as one of the hardest ones I've done. It was actually one of the ones I talked about in the Daddies and Baddies episode, and it is Mora from Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, so you're in the Molewood Depths, and you need to go up against this massive mama spider named Mora. And the whole thing about this area is that the light is the only thing that's keeping you alive. The darkness is so incredibly strong in this area. So you have to make sure you throw these fireballs out in the air to go ahead and light up lanterns that are swinging across the ceiling and stuff in order to keep areas lit up. While you're doing that, you still have to go ahead and fight against Mora as well as all of her babies that she sends after you. This was one that I did entirely on stream.
Yeah, at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my god, dude! I'm not going to dive too deep because I went into it a few weeks back, but this one was probably the most satisfying for me when it comes down to hard missions that I was finally able to beat, because this thing took me forever to actually fucking do.
All right. Well, here's the last one I have for my most hated. It's actually it's like a 1A, 1B, both from the same game. One of, if not my favorite game of all time, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, most people are going to expect the one, which is the Water Temple, and I'll do that one first. The Water Temple is It's infamous, dude. I got a bubble in my throat. You hear that?
The fuck was that?
I don't know. Frog just like climbed
Bruh,
up and grabbed my vocal
two-toned
cords.
the fuck out of that, man.
Sure did.
Ooh.
So the water temple. It's been so long since I played this game, even though I've beaten it probably 50 times. The water temple is so unbelievably annoying because if you want to talk about hating doing shit over and over again, this is your worst nightmare. You get to this water temple. By this point, you have, I forget what they're called. I think they're called the Iron Boots. You'd think, as much as I love Zelda and all the games I played, I'd remember, but I played so many of them that I forget like the little details. But you have these Iron Boots, and this water temple is, one, it's huge. Two, there's 3 or 4 different areas in this temple that you can raise or lower the water in the temple, and each one of these places will raise it and lower it a different amount. So if you go to the wrong one first, raise it to an area that you didn't mean to raise it to, you got to backtrack all the way back to another one. And every time you do this, if you raise the water too high, you have to go into your inventory. You have to put the iron boots on so you can sink down, go all the way through. Whenever you want to float back up, you got to take the boots back off. There's a million different places to go, and it's just so incredibly annoying. Probably, like I said, if you Google that game and like most annoying part, I'd be shocked if it wasn't number one, if it didn't pop up immediately. And from the same game, it's a mission called Inside Jabu Jabu's Belly. Basically,
can you first explain what a Jabu Jabu is?
It's a big ass whale. I'm pretty sure. It's when you first make it to, it's funny because it's your people. It's when you first make it to the fish people. when you first
I love how you say it's my people. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, you said you're the one that started the link tapping that fish girl. So it's when you first get to Zora's domain.
Lord Jabu Jabu.
Yes, it is when you first get to. I believe it's the first time you get to Zora's domain. And you find out that the princess has been got swallowed accidentally, I believe, by Jabu Jabu. So you have to go and collect this little fish. You put it in front of him, and then basically, like, he just inhales this fish, and you go inside his stomach with it. And it's your job to rescue the princess. You know, beat the boss, get your way out. But the most annoying thing is, she is a prissy little bitch. She is a prissy little bitch, and she gets so mad that at one point in the level, she literally just says, "Screw it, I'm not going anywhere," and just sits down. And you have to, you know how Link, like in all these games, like he picks up a pot and you can like carry it. Yeah. You carry her the same way. So you literally pick her up and carry her around.
This is Princess Roto.
Princess Ruto, yeah.
Ruto. Apologies.
But she's an integral part of this mission, of this quest, because there's different doors that have like these buttons that you have to put in typical Zelda fashion, these buttons that you have to push on the floor to get the door to open. But some of them, as soon as you press them and then step off of them, they raise back up. So you have to like sit her on these buttons, go in, do what you have to do, come out, scoop her back up. And if you accidentally lose her, you have to backtrack all the way back to the beginning where you first found her and then go all the way the fuck back through again. It's incredibly annoying because in a game where you just want to go and hack and slash and do your shit, you have to keep picking this bitch up, putting her back down, picking her up, putting her down. It's so annoying. So fucking annoying.
The pain in your face when you're talking about this, it's very palpable.
Yeah, and again, I love the game. But it is what it is. I got to be fair. But those are the only 3 that I had for again, could I think of more? I'm sure.
If I had more time, I could easily think of more. Just because, you know what I mean? Like I said, if I actually sat there and went, okay, let me look at the games I've played over the last like 5 years. And then I could probably break down, you know what I mean, if I looked at it that way and actually thought about it, where, you know what I mean, like with these games, what was hardest for me.
Yeah.
But now since we did hate or hard, let's talk about what we love.
God, it's going to get fuzzy in here.
Then let's get fuzzy.
That's got to be the name of this episode.
Let's get fuzzy.
Yeah, you did it. You did it this time.
Yeah. I'll take it.
All right.
Okay, so there, bud. I'm going to bring it back, man. I'm going to bring us all the way back to the 90s for this one.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
God, I hope it's a game I played that I can guess.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Can I take a guess?
Go ahead.
The big world
No.
where everything's like super big. Oh, okay. All right,
Even though I do like that world, and I was thinking about that one. So I picked the first world that you play. I mean the first world that you play in for Super Mario Brothers. And the reason why I decided to pick that one, the grassland, that's what it's called, is because from there you can get 2 flutes.
Yep. And just
into
cruise
which
right.
you never have to touch worlds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. You don't have to touch a single goddamn world.
You just cruise all the way to the end.
You cruise straight to the end, to the warp zone, and you handle your damn business.
Yeah.
Now, I was actually going to have in my hard/hated whatever section all the worlds in between 2 through 8. Because it seems like nobody plays those fucking worlds. Everybody just gets the flutes and just fucking runs.
Now, I have a question. Well, it's a question that I'm just curious.
Okay.
Do you think... I don't remember which flute it is, if it's the first one or the second one. I believe it's the first one. That... The only way the public found out about that had to have been leaked by whoever put that in, right? Because that's the one where you literally are in the one world and you're climbing on things and you have to like
1-3.
duck. Yeah, where you have to duck and stay ducked for like...
I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, you have to duck for like 10 seconds and then you go behind everything and run.
And you got to make sure you jump over everything. Go ahead and get your shit ready to fly.
You never would have been able to figure that out any other way, right? That had to have come from the inside and someone leaked it and said, by the way, you can do this, and then it spread from there. Because who would just randomly stop and hold down?
I feel like, well, see, that's the thing. I feel like something might have been said to somebody saying in the first world, in the grasslands, you might find something if you search as low as possible into what
even that would be so vague because there's so many places.
Yes, but what it does is it plants the seed. It plants the seed for somebody to go ahead and actually dive in and get the shit done. Yeah. That's what I think. It's more of that than somebody just saying, "Hey, do this. Gotta tell you something."
Yeah,
right here. No. There. Duck down for 10 seconds. Don't tell nobody. I feel like that wouldn't necessarily be it. But yeah. To me, it is hands down. Well, hands down. One of the most loved things for me is the grasslands in Super Mario 3.
All right, so I have a lot for love. I think I have like I said, I think I have like 5. Well, one game has a couple because I could have picked any of them, but I picked my favorites. But to start it off, from Borderlands 2, and it's a very very short one, really.
I know what you're going to say.
Hilarious. Which one?
It's my next one. I know it. I fucking know it.
Okay, well, I'll say the name of it, and then we can talk about it together if it's the same one. You Are Cordially Invited. That's the one I picked.
That's the Claptrap, isn't it? The party mission?
For Tiny Tina?
Oh, that mission.
So we're good. Okay. So mine is called You Are Cordially Invited.
Oh my God, I was thinking you were going to pick something else. Okay.
No, I know I know which one you're going at now.
Even though I do love this fucking mission, though.
Yeah, so this is very brief. Upon meeting the unhinged Tiny Tina, you must help her set up a tea party. And it's a tea party like only Tiny Tina would have. The Vault Hunter is tasked with collecting the guests, including Sir Reginald, a tiny varket in a glass jar, Princess Fluffybutt, a hand grenade disguised as a doll, and Flesh Stick, a crazed bandit who simply messed with the wrong bitch. Plain and simple.
That is some fucking facts.
After everything is in place, Tiny Tina informs the Vault Hunter that she invited Flesh Stick's entire crew as well, meaning the Vault Hunter gets to kill every last one of them while she roasts Flesh Stick in an electric chair seated at the tea party. And it says here, maybe poor Tina needs a little therapy. What do you think? And I absolutely do. So this mission is just hilarious because, again, it's the first time you meet Tiny Tina, and she instantly became my favorite character in that game. Instantly, because she is so sick and twisted and demented. And it is hilarious, and her lingo, everything is funny, but just that collecting that shit and like just watching her. It sounds pretty fucked up, but watching her torture this bandit in an electric chair at a tea party while you're killing all these things is hilarious.
It's making me think about the first time you meet her. When you first go into her little cave, and she sings a little tune.
Would you like to remind
all
people?
Around the stack is plant, the stalker chased the bandit. The stalker thought 'twas all in fun. Pop goes the bandit.
Yeah. That he just captured the essence of Tiny Tina.
Oh
perfectly.
Man.
But that's the first one I have. Is You Are Cordially Invited from Borderlands 2. Crazy Tiny Tina's crazy ass.
So my next one is also from Borderlands 2.
Is it the party?
It is it the party of Claptrap one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I thought you were saying Claptrap's birthday party.
No.
Which is it's so short, but it's hilarious.
Honestly, I thought that mission was stupid.
It's one of those stupid little ones they fucking throw in there.
Yes. No, one of my favorites, and it is insanely stupid because you have to do one thing. Just one thing. A bandit asks you to do just one thing. And this is in the area where you first meet Brick as a new Vault Hunter. And all he wants you to do is shoot him in the face.
I do remember that.
So I don't know what the mission is called. I'll look that up before we finish this all out. But the character's name is Shooty McShootface. And
Yes,
literally, all you have to do is shoot him in the face. It's like, it is the exact fucking same as in Borderlands 3 when the Calypso twins tell you, oh, just kill yourself. Kill yourself and you'll get a gun.
Yeah.
And you get a legendary gun for fucking jumping off of whatever and killing yourself. Actually, Jack has that too.
Yes. Yeah.
But like,
it's funny.
To me, there's nothing, because the dude like loses his shit about wanting to get shot in the face. And in the Borderlands world, bandits are beyond psychotic.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, dude, their brains are straight up mashed potatoes, man. Like, yo, there ain't no other way of putting it.
They may not even be mashed potatoes.
Instaflakes. There you go. But yeah, Shooty McShootface. And like I said, I will get that mission name for you.
So the next one for me that I love is from Uncharted 2. You won't know. Well, you may have seen it, but you never played the game, so you wouldn't know it. But it's called Locomotion, and this mission is absolutely insane. The entire mission takes place on a moving train, and you start by jumping on the back of this train. And I don't remember. It's been so long since I played those games. I don't remember the part in the story, the reason as to why you're there, but you as Nathan Drake, you're on the back of this train that's just hauling ass, and you're fucking people up all the way through. You know, sometimes you have to go on the outside of the train and climb up and fight people on top of it. Sometimes you got to break a window to go in through the train, and then you get to this part where the train, I believe, is well, actually, that's a little further down. So after you kill some of these baddies, this big ass fucking chopper. I died. This big ass chopper.
Welcome back.
Thanks. This big ass chopper starts tearing this fucking train apart. So as you're killing people and we're working your way through this train, this fucking chopper is just destroying this thing. And then eventually you find out that, like, in the middle of the train that they're transporting like some big piece of artillery that you're able to fucking hop in, take out this fucking chopper, work your way through. But it's just fucking nuts because, like I said, this train's going like 100 miles an hour. You're outside, you're inside, you're killing people. You got a fucking helicopter after you. It is bananas.
It sounds insane.
It's just a shit, dude. It's a shit. Your heart is thumping through your chest the entire time. Like, it doesn't let up. It doesn't let up.
I like that.
And it's nice, short and sweet, but that's one of my favorites. It's just so action packed and stupid fun.
All right. Well, I don't have any more, so you need to go ahead and keep moving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I will keep moving because I am fucking excited. So this was originally going to be my number one, but then I had other ones that I was like, no, I have to talk about these. And what was originally going to be my number one is the entire quest line of the Dark Brotherhood in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. This shit is so fucking sick. The Dark Brotherhood is essentially this fucking, I mean, essentially a cult. But you can only get into the Dark Brotherhood if you murder somebody that you weren't otherwise supposed to kill in the game. So if you kill someone, that either an innocent person or someone you weren't supposed to kill, you'll see this message that says that, like, something along the lines of like, someone has noticed what you've done. And then the next time you wake up, there's just this dude in this all black fucking robe standing in front of you. And basically you get initiated into the Dark Brotherhood, and they just have you do all sorts of crazy shit, from fucking like murder missions to stealing shit to all sorts of stuff. It is so fucking cool and dark and grimy, and just a part of the game that if you play the game by the book, you'd really never come in contact with. Yeah, it's I think I had some.
I mean, those fucking games are never ending. Like Skyrim, Oblivion, like, dude, they never stop.
The Dark Brotherhood is a guild of assassins who are willing to assassinate anyone apart from members of the guild, as long as the contractor pays enough for their service. When a person, like I said, so when a person commits murder, it's likely that the Night Mother has been watching from the shadows. The next time the murderer sleeps in a location deemed to be secure, a speaker will approach the murderer and ask them to join the Dark Brotherhood. And if the offer is accepted, the murderer will then be given a specific target to kill. So yeah, I think the dude's name is Lucian. Lucian LeChance is the leader of the Dark Brotherhood, but they just give you some really dark, grimy missions that are a shitload of fun. So that entire quest line is fantastic. And last but not least, all of my number ones that I don't know that I have ever played a game where I have pissed my pants laughing more than this game and its successor, and that is South Park: The Stick of Truth.
I figured if you weren't going to have that, if Anthony was here, he would have had something to do with South Park.
It's 3 missions from there. So the first one is called The Bard, and it is fucking hilarious because, is it Jimmy or Timmy? I always forget which one's which, but one of them is the Bard. So the most hilarious thing about this game is you're in this like mystical, fantastic world that is literally just made by all these kids in their backyards and their houses. But you go to these but it feels so real. And the mission with the Bard, you have to go find the Bard, and it's in someone's house in the basement, but they call it the Inn of the Giggling Donkey. So it's
the Inn of the Giggling Donkey.
The Inn of the Giggling Donkey. Hold on.
That's a fucking
name. Okay, so the Inn of the Giggling Donkey. Your place is called Koopa Keep. And you're launching into the Bard. You'll be taken to the Giggling Donkey. After the cutscene, you find yourself in the basement, wander around, blah blah. So you find the Bard, who ends up being Jimmy. And this is fucked up. But what makes it so funny is that there's dialogue, and if you've ever seen South Park, you know Jimmy, you know he stutters, and it takes him a while to say certain things. When he's talking in the dialogue in this cutscene, he will literally get stuck on a word that will you can let it go for like 5 minutes before he finally finishes the word. If you don't skip it yourself, it will literally take that long. He'll be like, "You need to go," and he'll just go forever, and it's so goddamn funny. But he
as somebody who does have that speech impediment myself, I would find that absolutely hilarious.
He also, so literally, but what, like, the way they make fun, like the way they bring the humor to it is funny, because literally as he starts stuttering, it'll pop up and says hold B to skip because you don't want to sit there forever. But
okay, question. Do you get an achievement for letting him run through his entire Bard thing without skipping?
I don't remember. But one of the funniest fucking parts of it is he sings this song that's a part of one of his moves. The greatest thing about this game is it's a traditional turn-based RPG set in the South Park world. So each player has like certain moves, and his one move is called the Bard Song. And I forget what it does when he does this, but he sings this song that pisses you off every time, especially if he's beating you. And the song goes, There once was a maiden from Stoneberry Hollow. She didn't talk much, but boy did she swallow. I had a nice lance which she sat upon. The maiden from Stoneberry, who was also your mom. And he sings. It is so goddamn funny. It is so fucking funny. So that's one of the missions. Another one that is super fast is called Find Jesus, where you find this the pastor out in the wild and he asks you to go find Jesus, and you're literally playing hide and seek with Jesus. And you go to the church, and like you walk into the church and you're trying to find him, and like you walk into the church and it's just empty, and all of a sudden you just like you hear this little like childish giggle, you hear this and you see him like pop his head up from like the middle pew. So you go and you find him, and then you go back to the priest, and he tells you, you know, okay, I want you to find him again. It's going to be a lot harder. You go back to the church and you turn on like these two lights in the back, and you just see his silhouette. He's hiding behind the little thing in the front that they stand at. I always forget what it's fucking called. It's so quick. It's just hilarious that like you think it's going to be this long hard thing, and you just like hear him giggle and you see him pop his head up and you find him. And then one of my favorites is Big Game Hunting with Jimbo, which Jimbo from Ned and Jimbo's Guns. They basically give you a book called The Hunter's Guide to South Park Wildlife, where you're tasked with taking down basically these rare creatures. And rare creatures in this game, you have the rabid junkyard dog, you have a farm cow, you have a penis mouse, you have a blood-sucking fruit bat, mutant bacteria, my favorite, the Canadian barking spider of the Queefing Caverns, and yeah, it's basically just these big-ass fucking mythical creatures. The reason I like the Canadian barking spider one is because I don't know why they decided to do this, and I'm going to ruin it for anyone who hasn't played this game. And I still recommend that if anyone loves to laugh and likes old school turn-based RPGs, it's the perfect marriage, and you will literally be laughing your ass off the entire way through this game. When you get to Canada, the whole game shifts and goes to like a top-down NES looking view, like if you're playing the very first Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
And the entire time you're walking through Canada, it's just in 8-bit music. It's just playing the 8-bit Canadian anthem.
It's
and I fucking love it.
Canada in 8-bit?
It's playing Oh Canada in 8-bit. Is fucking hilarious. You can look it up. It's fucking it's hysterical. And it's just nothing but like hockey, like just stereotypical Canadian references. They're talking about like nothing but hockey and all of it. Absolutely all of it.
The loony, the toonie.
The loony and the toonie. I was gonna take some also from the Fractured Butthole, but literally I could talk about those games forever. I was gonna talk about taking on Morgan Freeman at Freeman's Taco Stand, but I talked about that in a previous episode, so you could always go back and hear that. And it's
many episodes.
One of the many episodes. In short, you can find Morgan Freeman. He runs a taco stand called Freeman's Tacos, and you can walk behind the counter where he's working and hit him. And he's the hardest boss in the game to beat. It takes forever, and it's not even a part of the story. Like you don't have to do this at all. It's just something
motherfucker. I dare you.
Have you seen it?
No.
That's essentially what happens. Like you have to hit him a few. He's so fucking powerful. You have to hit him a few times.
It was just a good line to say in my Morgan Freeman voice.
You have to hit him a few times before it even lets you battle him, because he's basically warning you like you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. So you basically have to hit him.
He knew.
He fucked up.
up.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, those are my three favorite. Definitely the Bard is hilarious, and I hope after this episode's over, I'll have Wes pull up just any of the Bard shit there, so he can understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, those are my most loved.
We told you what we love, and we told you what we hate. Now let's tell you about some news. All right, so we now have a right around release time and a voice cast which is pretty fucking awesome, coming from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game. So we have learned through IGN, and I actually have this article is actually from Kotaku. So we learned from IGN that the vibrant retro-inspired art and action game is actually going to be coming out this summer. So that's when we're going to see it. This game will be out for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and the Switch. I feel like it is only right to have this game on the Switch.
I mean, the fuck, I just had a massive fucking brain fart.
I mean,
mainly
to me, because,
that's
like,
this.
this game is, I mean, it pays homage to the classic NES
Beat 'em up
Turtles games. Yeah, beat 'em up games. So like I'm probably going to get it for my Switch Lite, just because it only makes sense for me to go ahead and get it from there.
That's a game that just feels right on the Switch.
It just feels right on a Nintendo console, period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the console is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always played it on when I was younger, so
exactly.
That's how it's gonna stay.
Now, here's the part that I fucking love, and I actually got giddy when I read this shit. So, the original 1980s animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, the people who voiced the Turtles are coming back to voice them in this game. You will have Townsend Coleman as Michelangelo, Barry Gordon as Donatello, Cam Clark as Leonardo, and Rob Paulson as Raphael. That is the coolest thing that I could ever fucking hear, for me personally. Because like, yo, that show was
brings you back.
So that show was fucking everything to me when I was a kid. I have all the seasons on DVD to go ahead and just bring that. I mean, just to show my fandom. Also, I mean, we already knew about this. Some of the playable characters you have in the game besides the Turtles, April O'Neil will be a playable character, as well as Master Splinter. We don't know anything about Casey Jones, whether he's going to be a playable character or not. Right now, that name has a little bit of a sting on it. If you want to go ahead and talk to us.
I don't even want to think about any of these fuckers right now.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so that's coming out this summer. We're going to get the classic Turtles in this game, so it's going to feel so right. So right. Next thing, I'm gonna give one more, then Andy's gonna give one, then I'll close it out. So that's how we're gonna run it.
That's right.
So PAX East has been going on over the last few days. Some of the information we got from that was during the Gearbox and 2K whole conference they had there. We got an announcement that they will be releasing a new Tales from the Borderlands game that is going to be coming out, and that will be released in 2022. The 2014 release Telltale game was probably one of the most fan favorite stories that you could possibly find. Like, number one, everybody loves Telltale. The way they do their animation, the cell shade design that they run with, dude, it looks amazing. Like, The Walking Dead is a
it's great.
Fucking fantastic game. The Batman Telltale, our boy Clyburn just streamed that for Twisted Cape not that long ago, dude. That was awesome to fucking watch. And so now we are going to be getting this is going to be between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. So we're going to find out what's going on in between those two. So 2.5.
Sweet.
And it followed the two unreliable narrators, Reese and Fiona. So we get Reese again, which is going to be cool. As they search for a vault and ran into fan favorite Borderlands character, Claptrap.
I mean,
so it will, let's see, they have, oh no, that's from the other one. Okay. So yeah, we will be getting that game later on this year, which is fucking incredible. I can't wait for it personally. Because look, Borderlands 2, I've already said, is one of my most favorite games of all time. So
yeah, it's a great game.
So that one, yeah, I mean, so going after killing Jack before we deal with the social media crazed Calypso twins. Yeah. Which means that maybe we see something with with the rise of those two, which would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, they got a lot to explain.
They do, definitely. So you have a little more information when it comes down to some PlayStation news.
I do, and this is straight from Adam Bankhurst at IGN, has all the goods here, and the all-new PlayStation Plus targeted release dates have been revealed. The all-new version of PlayStation Plus, those in the Americas are set to be able to start using the new service on June 13th of this year. As detailed in the PlayStation blog, Asia markets, excluding Japan, will be the first to get the new services. It's currently targeting May 23rd of this year. Japan will be next on June 1st, followed by the Americas on the 13th, and finally Europe on the 22nd. So this is the all-new version of PlayStation Plus. We talked about this before. We'll bring together both PS Plus and PS Now into a 3-tier subscription service that will include up to 700 games and access to retro games at the highest premium tier. A little breakdown on the price here. The first tier of PlayStation Plus Essential the first tier is PlayStation Plus Essential, and it provides all the same benefits that the current iteration of PlayStation Plus offers at the same price of $9.99 a month. PlayStation Plus Extra is the next step up at $14.99 a month, and that adds a catalog of up to 400 of, quote, the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games. And then last, if you want to go Big Daddy, which of course I will, the PlayStation Plus Premium tier is the highest option, will cost $17.99 a month. In addition to all the previous benefits, it will also add up to 340 games from PS1, 2, 3 via cloud streaming, and PSP. This tier will also offer time-limited game trials. Now, little to mention, still thus far, unlike Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus will not initially offer first-party titles on the new service the day they launch. That is something to keep an eye out for, but as of right now, that's the way that's going to be. So, still a great deal, still until they figure out what they're going to do as far as those launch titles. It's not quite going to be what Game Pass is, but it's still going to be very good. That is a large library of games, up to 700. I mean, that's about 5 times what Game Pass offers, because Game Pass has 150 a pop, right? Which is fantastic. But what they have going for them is they also do release brand new games. But to have a library of upwards of 700 games that you can take all the way back to your childhood, and even the handhelds, it's dope. It's dope. And for, you know, if you can afford it, $18 a month, and I do believe you can do it by year. I forget. But you know, not too shabby. And that middle of the road one, if you don't care about going back too far and you just want, you know, back to PS4, PS5 and PS5, you know, that middle tier one is still good too. So again, for just to recap, it is going to come to Asia, excluding Japan, May 23rd. It will get to Japan on June 1st. We get it here in the Americas on June 13th, and then finally Europe on June 22nd. Yeah, so that is the all-new PlayStation Plus.
Now, I know eventually I will pick it up. I mean, it took me a while to pick up Game Pass, but I also wanted to make sure that it was something that I would continuously use.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. The question is,
how long before I actually pick up this PlayStation version?
I've been thinking the same thing. I do want it because they've got, I mean, we've been talking forever about, literally up until this generation, with how PlayStation has been murdering Microsoft when it comes to, you know, first party games and stuff like that, or exclusive games, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So to be able to go all the way back and play some of those great exclusives from literally all the way back to PlayStation, the original PlayStation is going to be fantastic. But for me personally, as much as I want it, already being overwhelmed by Game Pass and not being able to play as much there because, you know, having life. You know, my son who's
life, just say
still
life.
Yeah, well, I mean, life, yeah, but you know, once, you know, my son, he is now on a more predictable schedule, but once that gets even more predictable with naps and stuff like that, and I'll be able to get back into gaming a little bit closer to how I did before, that's when I'll probably pick that up, because I'll be able to get some use out of it. But I don't know that it's, I mean, if you can swing it financially, fine. I don't know that it's worth it to have them both at the same time, because like that's so much. That's this is gonna sound crazy considering we do a gaming podcast, but I feel like that's too many games. You're talking about having 850 games at your fingertips
at the very least.
What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
No, I agree. I do believe that there actually is a level called too many games, and for somebody whose executive dysfunction, part of their anxiety, like mine, gets in, like when I have too much in front of me like that, I just go, I'm just gonna turn it off and go away now. And that's me being as much of a devout gamer as I can be. But like when I have too much in front of me to pick on what I want to play, I freeze.
And that's what I'm saying. And it's also like, if you're someone like me who likes to finish games. So I have a game that I play with you guys, whatever that may be at the time. Right now it's Chell, and I like to have one game that I play when I'm playing on my own. So if that game happens to be on Xbox, you know, what am I? I'm just going to have $18 a month going out the window while I finish this Xbox One, or vice versa. I get one for PlayStation, and then when I'm paying for Xbox, just sits there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot. I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot easier for the people that were only able to afford one system, because then you just worry about that one.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but yeah.
All right, sweet. So the last story we have has to do with Amazon, The Rock, and a game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Is this where you saw this going, by the way? Because we teased this a couple weeks ago about The Rock coming out and saying, hey, making a video game movie. And
you know something?
You didn't even connect it, right? You didn't connect those two, right?
No.
So a couple weeks ago, we got the story from The Rock. I'm going to let you tell the story of what it is, but I'm just recapping. A couple weeks ago, yeah, I know, I heard it too, and I felt it. So yeah, The Rock, I forget if he tweeted or if it was an interview, I forget, where he said that he was basically he was a part of a video game movie. That's this, you know, a great game that he can't wait to bring to the screen. And my brain didn't come close to this being the game. Not even remotely.
I don't think
not even
did,
remotely.
Honestly.
So why don't you tell the people just what this is?
So the game we're talking about is the Game Awards 2021 Game of the Year, the BAFTA 2022 Multiplayer Game of the Year. We are talking about It Takes Two.
Craziness.
So like we said, this game is not something that we thought would end up being a game that would end up going to a movie adaptation. Number one,
let alone a movie adaptation with The Rock. As soon as we heard The Rock, we were going like, is he going to do a Call of Duty, a Doom? Is he going to be Duke Nukem? Is he going to be like what?
Yeah, there were a lot of things that that we went to that were a lot easier for us to go ahead and kind of like low hanging fruit type of deal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like I realized I just typecasted the shit out of The Rock, but
absolutely,
you hear The Rock, you don't expect him to make It Takes Two.
Now the great thing about this is that we also have the Sonic the Hedgehog movie writers, both Pat Casey and Josh Miller, on board as executive producers for this.
Yeah.
So that's insane. You also have the producers, the head people from Hazel Lake Studio, Josef Fares and Oscar Walantis. They're a part of this as well. They're gonna be the ones there to go ahead and make sure we have some actual like relatability to the fucking game. So I'm not gonna argue with that. To give you guys a quick synopsis, It Takes Two is a two-player platformer that places players in the shoes of May and Cody, a couple in the middle of a divorce. After being turned into dolls, May and Cody are forced to traverse their now oversized surroundings in an effort to return to their bodies. I didn't see a single critic give this game under a 9 out of 10. Like,
it did work, bro.
Dude, this game, not to mention, this game is so much goddamn fun. I did this one on stream with Hav. Took us a few weeks to run through, but it was just so entertaining. And they pay homage to so many styles of video games in this game. Like every section you go to in order to go ahead and try to get closer and closer to getting back to your body, like you're playing a different genre of a video game.
That's dope.
Like, dude, some of it was over the top, some of it was like turn-based, some of it felt real RPG-ish, you know what I mean? Some of it was so much fun. This game, like, I hope they bring back a bunch of the original cast because this game is still so fresh.
Yeah,
like you know what I
that'd
mean,
be cool.
like you know, like the people who voiced May and Cody, fantastic. I love their chemistry. They were so good together. So we have no information when it comes down to when it's going to come out, what they want to do with it. But all we know is that it is going to happen, and it's going to be on Amazon, which means if you have Prime Video, you got it. And that's all we had in news. So now it is time to go ahead and let all the crew members at home and the ones abroad, we're going to tell you what we are playing. I decided to keep on running a little bit more of the main mission in Horizon Forbidden West. A lot of it's still me just kind of fucking around, but I completed some side objectives. I completed some accomplishments, some achievements. I fought every single type of beast that you can fight in the game, and I got all of these what are called black boxes, which kind of give you like a little bit of a glimpse into the past. You know what I mean? Right around when the war actually started between the machines and humans.
Sick.
And then also, I got all of the these drones that are flying around certain areas in the West. So with all of that stuff, you know what I mean, that will, like, prizes you end up getting from that stuff is going to be like, you can actually get some legendary gear with that stuff, which is actually pretty neat. So, I mean, that's kind of like my plan to see how all that goes. The one night I was messing around on MLB The Show 22, and I had a bad run. Dude. I pitched my first home run, which wasn't fun.
That happens.
No, it happens, but it wasn't fun. And dude, I just had a terrible outing, dude. They pulled me at the top of the 7th, and then I didn't even like, obviously I didn't finish the game, and we lost the game. But nah, dude, like that game, I'm still having fun. Like when I run through these episodes, that's what I play, because it's something that I can quickly pause if I need to edit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's one of those games that I can play while I'm doing something else, which is actually really, really convenient for how my brain works.
Sweet,
but
sweet.
other than that, I need you to explain to people our Shell Night.
So we unlike any other night, we actually ended up getting a game immediately with Anthony, and that normally when we play,
very cool.
we have to play all three of us as skaters, because it takes forever to find a game, because we only, if we're playing with a goalie, we only play other teams that have a goalie as well. But we said fuck it and decided to give it a whirl, and Anthony was in the pipes, and we got a game immediately against an old foe, the Choctaw War Chiefs, who we've played a few times before. I don't remember if we played them with a goalie, without a goalie. I don't remember. But the very first game, about a minute into the game, Wes got booted.
I got booted all the way back to the PlayStation home screen.
Yeah, so it was just me and Anthony holding down the fort. We managed to squeak out a 3-2 victory.
Hell yeah.
It was a hard-fought game. Played the next game, immediately got them again. This time Wes was able to stay, made the game so much easier, because we went from in the first game, in the face-off dot, we were 14-7. Yeah, so they started with the puck twice as much as we did. Wes murdered it in the second game. We still ended up only eking out a 3-2 win, but still a very, very close game. And then we got them for a third time. They switched up their rotation. They had a different guy playing goalie. We remained the same. And we made them quit in like 7 minutes, I think. We went up like 4-1 or 5-1, and then they just up and threw their systems out the window or something.
They got mad shit.
Yeah, and then we played another team. I don't remember who it was. They weren't very good, but we didn't play a very good game. And we lost, I think, 5-3 or 5-2.
So the biggest thing about that game was that we weren't shooting at all.
No, that was the last one. That was the Turtles. That was the Turtles game. So
I thought that was this one as well.
No,
because in the Turtles one, we started coming back a little bit because we started shooting more, especially in the third.
Yeah, touche. We when Wes and I play out our motto, and seems to just be our motto, because it's definitely not the same thing when you and Anthony play out. It's still not even the same thing when Anthony and I play out. So, but when Wes and I play out, it is just essentially as soon as you cross the blue line, shoot, cause a scramble, even if the goalie stops it, get everyone kind of out of position, and then work from there. And it enabled us to score a bunch of goals, and by the end of regulation, we had like doubled or tripled the other team's time on attack. We doubled them in shots, and it was just, it's how we needed to play. And for whatever reason, we got away from it in that game. And then the very last game, Wes alluded to this when talking about the Ninja Turtles video game. We played a team called TMNT, which had not Casey Jones, it had Cassie Jones, because it was a female.
Yes.
It had Cassie Jones, Donatello, Leonardo, Raph, Michelangelo.
That was it, because the other one was a computer. They didn't have a full squad.
And we just totally abandoned our game plan and got smoked the first couple periods. I think we were losing like 5-1 going into the third or something like that. Pretty. And I think we ended up losing 6-3 because we completely took over the third period. We were just throwing everything on net, got back to our normal game plan, and we were just at the end of the game. It was one of those, fuck man, if we just stuck with our game plan the first couple periods, it, probably would have been a much different outcome.
Yeah.
But that was our Chell night. I did get a little bit more of a little more 2K in.
Oh, nice.
I'm continuing my college career. I'm in like my third game in college. It's kind of cool how they work out the college years if that's how you choose to do it. So before each game, the coach basically tells you like what he needs out of you for that game. So like the very first game, I went against this dude. I think his name was Denzel Pryor. I think he was like the number 1 scorer in the nation or something like that. And he was just like, you're the one that's got to guard this dude. Like,
throw you to fucking fire, man.
If he goes off, we're gonna lose. So I locked his ass up. I think he ended up with like 7 points or 8 points or something like that, and I think we ended up winning by like 11 or something like that. I don't even remember who he played. Like I said, I'm on Villanova. I don't remember what team he was on. Then my next game, I actually forget a lot about my next game, but basically I'm still just working my way towards increasing my draft stock and seeing where I end up. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I love those games, especially now that I'm still a huge hockey fan. It's still my first love, but I'm obviously all basketball right now, considering our hockey team's a big pile of doo-doo. So I'm all systems go in basketball right now. But yeah, that's what I got.
Nice.
I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else? No, there's nothing else.
Oh, so real quick, in the show, you can do some training, right? To go ahead and be better. Like, so I did step ladder. Because, look, I've done that shit in real life. I'm like, look, man, I've done this shit. It's fucking easy. I can do that. Dude, I fucking did shit poor on this fucking thing. Because, you need to hit the fucking buttons, like, at a certain pattern and a certain time. And, I couldn't get a grasp of it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, my, I was getting so mad. Now it is time for you to connect with CGC. You can go to our website, which is consolegamingcrew.com, or you can hit us up on email, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @consolecrew, and our YouTube and Instagram are both Console Gaming Crew. As you hear in the beginning of the episode, if you want to go ahead and check out not only us, but other content creators that have anything and everything game related, please go to bossrushgames.com. Boss Rush Games, be better. Also, you can hit us up on Twitch. We are CGC Podcast. We have my co-op Monday nights with my peoples, Javier, Mike, and Dan. We might actually play in a game called something Rock Galactic. But you mine for different metals and stuff, and you got to kill a bunch of like bugs and shit while you're doing it.
Oh shit!
It's actually
all right.
Dude, it's actually fun. It's actually a good time. And also you have our Fun Friday, which is currently us playing Chell, but we might be running some Freaky Friday soon, or I might take a little bit of a hiatus from Freaky Friday, and then I can let Andy and Anthony play some It Takes Two.
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely want to do that before the movie comes out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And of course, lastly, I want to ask anybody who listens to us on any platform at all, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stacker, anywhere. anywhere you listen to us. If you can rate us, throw us 5 stars, give us a comment. Look, man, we read them. We hands down read these comments, and we talk about them when we read them. So, what y'all think is, look, man, we can probably do some of that stuff. So please let us know. Absolutely. But yeah, Andy, it's been fun.
Yes, it has.
So until next time, I ask everybody. Until next time, I'm gonna go ahead first tell y'all that we love y'all, we appreciate y'all. We just want you to stay safe, wash your hands, mask up if you need to, do whatever you gotta do whatever you have to do to feel safe. And as always,
game on.
Game on, y'all. Be good. Peace.